All right, Ms. Sapp, we are live on YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today for the District Library Book Objection Committee meeting. The purpose of today's meeting is to review an objection to the book titled Fire Force Book 1 by Asuki Ohabo. I'm Dawn Sapp, Associate Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. Mr. Forson has designated me as chair of the committee, and I'll be facilitating today's meeting. School-based and district staff, as well as parent and community volunteers, are invited to participate on each committee. Today's meeting will result in a recommendation that will be forwarded to Mr. Forson, St. Johns County School District Superintendent. This committee meeting is public record and therefore subject to Sunshine Law. It is being live streamed for public viewing. Committee members are not required to have their camera on during the meeting. We're committed to civility and decorum. Please assist us in maintaining a constructive meeting environment by remaining respectful of each participant during the meeting and afterwards. Additional discussion of the objecting party or committee members outside of the meeting is discouraged. Disparaging comments are contrary to district expectations regarding character and civility. Committee members received several resources in advance of the meeting. The resources included the objecting party's request for reconsideration, a copy of the book, Florida statutes, Florida Department of Education guidance for library media services, professional source reviews, St. Johns County School Board rules, the Library Bill of Rights, and a copy of the School Library Media Material Evaluation Checklist. The process for today is as follows. First, the objecting party will have the opportunity to address the committee. They will provide any information they deem compelling or new regarding their request. Next, the committee will have a discussion utilizing the School Library Media Material Evaluation Checklist. Finally, the decision by majority vote will determine a recommendation for Superintendent Forson. There are two options: retain the book for a designated level or remove the book from St. Johns County School District libraries. For our meeting today, both agreeable and opposing viewpoints are welcome. Are there any questions? Okay, let's begin. Jean Moore is the objecting party for Fire Force Book 1. Ms. Moore, this is your time to address the committee. You have up to 5 minutes to share your objection.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity for me to share my thoughts. My objections to this book are that it contains explicit sexual activities, non-sexual nudity, and sexual assault. The Florida statutes clearly state obscene content in school libraries is now illegal. Florida describes the following as sexual conduct in 847.012. Actual or simulated sexual intercourse, deviant sexual intercourse, sexual bestiality, masturbation, or sadomasochistic abuse, actual or simulated lewd exhibition of the genitals, actual physical contact with a person's clothed or unclothed genitals, pubic area, buttocks, or if the person is female, the breast, with an intent to arouse or gratify the sexual desire of either party, or an act or conduct which constitutes sexual battery or simulates that sexual battery is being or will be committed. There are several pictures in the book that depict nudity and sexual assault as shown in the original objection. Under the Florida statutes, this is illegal content and it must be removed. Also, how about it's just vulgar? Parents have almost no ability to monitor or protect their child from what lies in the media center. The Follett system does not provide enough information for parents to compile a list to opt out, and the opt-out list does not stop a child from pulling a book from the shelf without checking it out. It's an ineffective way for parents to try to protect their children from graphic sex, violence, rape, pedophilia, profanity, etc., etc. Parents alone determine if they want their child to have access to adult materials, not the child, and certainly not the school district. You will walk through the checklist, but those questions alone do not determine if a book is inappropriate. I sincerely hope this committee will also use common sense, a moral compass, and courage to stand up for childhood innocence and parental rights. Ultimately, the job of this committee is to ensure that the school district is not violating the obscenity laws by distributing content that is described in the Florida statute as required by law, House Bill 1069. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Committee members, we will refer to the school library media material evaluation form for our discussion. As a reminder, Florida statute states that any materials used in a classroom, made available in a school or classroom library, or included on a reading list may be objected to for 4 specific reasons. Reason number 1, the material is pornographic and prohibited under section 847.012 of Florida statute. The material must be removed it must be recommended to the superintendent that the material must be removed if the majority of the committee agrees with the objecting party that the material is pornographic or prohibited. For the remaining 3 reasons, the committee will determine if there is an appropriate grade level or if the material should be removed. Those remaining reasons are: the material depicts or describes sexual conduct as defined in 847.001(19) of Florida statute. The material is not suited to student needs and their ability to comprehend the material, or the material is inappropriate for the grade level and age group for which the material is used. Keep in mind that our final task on the form is to make a recommendation to Superintendent Forson. There are 2 options: retain the book for a designated level or remove the book from St. Johns County School District libraries. Again, statute is clear that we must recommend to remove the title if the majority of the committee determines a violation of question 4 on the checklist. The floor will be open to discussion, and each committee member will have the opportunity to share. Comments will be summarized to provide an overall committee response for each question. Please remember to raise your hand to provide a comment. For our meeting today, both agreeable and opposing viewpoints are welcome. Let's begin. We will now go through the checklist together. I will read each question. I will ask if anyone has a comment. And after we've finished with comments, then we will vote. So we're going to move over to the library materials objection form. Question number 1. Sorry, got a lot of papers in front of me. Feel like I should have these memorized. Here we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Question number 1, the objecting party's challenge of the material cites that. So for this one, we take it directly from the objecting party's, what they submitted. And Ms. Moore indicated that her grounds for objection are that the material depicts or describes sexual conduct. So we will indicate that on this form. And she also had some supporting documentation, so that will be included in our what we give to Mr. Forson. So we'll actually move on to question number 2. For question number 2 and 3, it's an indication for Mr. Forson just to see, kind of to confirm that the committee actually reviewed the materials. So for question number 2, it states specific pages in the material cited by the objecting party were reviewed. So if you did review the pages cited by the objecting party, you'll vote yes on this one. If you did not review those specific pages, you will vote no. Please vote.
Ms. Sapp, we have 7 yes votes. You may now clear your vote.
Thank you, everyone. Moving on to question number 3, similar to question 2, professional and/or crowdsource reviews were considered. If you did look at the professional and/or crowdsource reviews that were provided, then please vote yes. If you did not look at those professional and crowdsource reviews, please vote no.
Ms. Sapp, we have 7 yes votes. You may now clear your vote.
Thank you. Starting with question number 4, I'm going to read the question. I'm going to pause and see if there are any hands, so that everyone that wants to has a chance to make any comments, and then I'll call for a vote. So question number 4, is the material pornographic or prohibited under Florida Statute 847.012? Please raise your hand at this time if you'd like to make a comment. Okay, I don't see any hands, so we'll call for a vote. Is the material pornographic or prohibited under Florida Statute 847.012?
Ms. Sapp, we have 2 yes votes and 5 no votes. You may now clear your vote.
Question number 5. Does the material depict or describe sexual conduct defined in Florida Statute 847.001 paren 19? Please raise your hand if you'd like to make a comment. Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Hi, I just wanted to quickly point out the sexual conduct definition in 847.001 is a very narrow one, and I don't believe that it has been met by any of the material that's been provided. The groping that the complainant is pointing out was not with the intent to arouse or gratify the sexual desire of either party. One party was angry with it and the other was mortified by it. Similarly, I don't believe that it actually portrays sexual battery, which requires intent within the book. Whatever happened was the result of some sort of magic spell or curse and was clearly not the intent of either party. And so for that reason, I will be voting no. This does not constitute sexual conduct. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the committee members? Okay, question number 5. We're going to vote after this. Does the material depict or describe sexual conduct defined in Florida Statute 847.001 paren 19? Please vote.
Ms. Sapp, we have 2 yes votes and 5 no votes. You may clear your votes now.
Thank you. Question number 6. Is the material unsuited to student needs and their ability to comprehend the material presented? Are there any comments for question number 6? Okay, we'll move to a vote. Is the material unsuited to student needs and their ability to comprehend the material presented? Please vote. Is the material unsuited to student needs and their ability to comprehend the material?
Ms. Sapp, we have 7 no votes. You may now clear your vote.
Thank you. And question number 7. Mrs. Zakowski, could you please tell us at what grade level is this material currently available to in St. Johns County?
Hello, yes, this material is currently accessible to students in grade levels 9 through 12, which is our high school library collections.
Thank you. So just keeping in mind that currently, this material is currently available to students in grades 9 through 12 in our high schools. Question number 7, is the material inappropriate for the grade level and age group for which the material is used? Are there any comments? Don't see any hands, so we'll go ahead and vote. Is the material inappropriate for the grade level and age group for which the material is used? Please vote.
Ms. Sapp, we have 7 no votes. You may now clear your vote. Ms. Toijer, can you clear your vote? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we're going to vote on our recommendation to Mr. Forson. The material is currently available in grades 9 or up, so we will start there. If you would like to vote that the material is appropriate grades 9 and up, you'll vote yes. If you want us to consider something different, you'll vote no. So please vote at this time. The material is appropriate for grade 9 and up.
All right, Ms. Sapp, we have 7 yes votes. You can now clear your vote.
We have completed the form. Please raise your hand if anyone would like to include any additional comments to be included in our recommendation to Mr. Forson. Okay, seeing no comments, I just have a few closing activities that we need from all of you. Okay. Thank you to all of our committee members for your participation today. There are 2 final action steps to conclude our work. Number 1, your acknowledgement as a participant on the committee is needed on the recommendation to Mr. Forson. The recommendation, which includes notes from today's discussion, will be emailed to you. You may acknowledge participation by responding with an email, or you may review and sign the document in person at our Media Services office at 10 Hildreth in St. Augustine. The second thing we need is for you to return your book and any notes that you have in your work to prepare for this meeting. And if you'd please return those items to the location where you picked up your book. We ask that you please do both of those things by the end of this week. So your deadline is Friday. And are there any questions before we close the meeting? Okay, thank you. This concludes the meeting.